Item number 2, consideration of the road renewal plan. I'm going to place a motion on the floor, and we'll open up the floor for discussion. I'm going to recommend, motion is to recommend to the Board of Finance appropriating the sum of $2 million for phase 1 of the road renewal plan under the bonding scenario which we previously discussed at their discretion. Second. Okay. You know, I know that residents are getting a little upset with the length of time that this is taking. I do believe that that this board put together a very responsible and solid funding plan for the $8.5 million, but I think that the imperative here, as was said earlier, is that we get going and do as much as we possibly can. So, you know, my rationale is if we had an $8.5 million plan over 4 years, we'd be doing about $2 million anyway per year. So this gives us the ability to go to have a referendum, assuming the Board of Finance follows through with their vote. We can have a referendum. We can begin putting out bids in January, ordering the drainage materials, doing the prep work, which takes about 90 days. So about the time the plant's open on the 1st of April, we'll be ready to actually produce a full season's worth of road work on behalf of the residents of the town. I do have a priority list of roads that are in the worst condition. $2 million will not cover that. What I would do is consult with the highway department and the 2 fire chiefs to pick out the ones that are the most critical in terms of public safety, and put those on the list too. So, floor is open for discussion.
We also include the police chief.
Oh, yeah.
Where's the part of the public safety?
I meant to say that. You know, either the police chief or Captain Senator, whichever he prefers, whoever the chief prefers. Sometimes he has the captain involved in that. Sure.
I was disappointed with the Board of Finance not moving this project on. It's a lot of time was spent on the preparations, figuring out how to be affordable for the town to do. You know, the residents have come and spoke in favor of the project, and you know there was really very little opposition to it. You know, I understand where the Board of Finance was coming from. They're looking at the long-term picture of, you know, how the town can afford things to do. But I just have done a little math, and these are not actual figures. Hopefully they're, you know, within the ballpark. But we were talking about borrowing $8.5 million over a 10 years period. There was $1.3 million in interest. That would have been a total of 9.8. If we were to fund that under our program, it was, I think, 2.3% we were figuring in that finance charges. That's where the 1.3 interest came. Over a 10-year period, it probably equates to a 0.43 mil increase to the taxpayers. So you take an assessment of someone's home at $200,000, that's approximately 80 cents, I mean, not 80 cents, $86 a year. And if you break that down per day, we're talking 20 cents a day to fund this project. You know, just hearing some of the complaints about the roads and the fees that people are paying to repair their cars, the 20 cents a day is very little in the scope of the whole project. I'm going to vote with Matt to support the project, but I hope in the future the Board of Finance will see that, you know, it is an affordable project and that we can still proceed. Now that was borrowing with 2.3% interest. I mean, right now they're looking at doing short-term bonds at 0.5%, so that's even less money to the taxpayers. So that's my comment.
Okay.
Yeah, You know, I understand something right here. If you recall my previous comments on this entire project, I was always in favor of short-term bonding because, you know, I've had an opportunity to speak with some bankers. And this entire crisis that we're going through right now economically, the bankers are telling me that this mortgage crisis is going to be around for the next 4 years, and therefore that the interest rates are going to be sitting down where they are right now. It's very unlikely that anything's going to go up higher. So, you know, if, of course, this is up between the Board of Finance and Mr. Kozlowski, who's our controller. My preference would be to go short-term bonding. Because then, on top of that, I would love to see us go out as, when we were discussing this project, is to go out and bid this project, because I remember when we were gonna do the whole $8.5 million, there was a quotation, basically, saying, hey, we could do it for 6.9. So if we got this so-called, you know, $2 million right now, how many more roads can we get with $2 million in terms of mileage? I think, you know, previously we used to say that, okay, the highway department has got limited time. This basically allows our highway department to really work at this thing right in the spring, such that we're not going to cramp for time. And given the situation, I understand where the people are coming from. You know, there's 30-some miles that are horrible. But I think we have to use our heads here a little bit. We were talking all along to doing this in segments. This might be the way to do this, but again, you know, I am totally in favor of short-term bonding and working at this thing because we really don't know what this economic climate is going to be. You know, this is something that I know we spoke about. We were saying that if we would have taken the 8.5, if the economy was really lousy, we would stop at that point. Well, maybe this is a built-in thing for us right now that when it comes down to after we complete this phase, we can take a look at this project and take a look at the town in general, total operation cost, because, you know, there's this back thing that's been bothering me, frankly, is that I know that the state, I talked to our representative, our state was saying we're like 3.6 billion shortfall this year.
3.4.
3.4, okay. And
We
then,
were due number just this morning.
oh, well, hey, all right, you know, in the following fiscal year, they're projecting the same thing too. So, you know, things like ECS, we really don't know. That's what I'm concerned about. We've got a lot on our plate when it comes to next spring. And, you know, needless to say, like you gentlemen, I get these calls too, saying keep taxes down. And this may be a way, you know, working with the Board of Finance on this thing, and just looking at this project in segments going forward. Okay?
Well, one thing to remember is that this has, if this is approved at referendum, approved by the Board of Finance and approved at referendum, it has no impact on
Next year's
budget.
Correct.
And in fact, it would give us some flexibility because we have a $500,000 highway budget that would not be grandfathered along. We could use that for other areas if there was, you know, if some of the worst things do come to pass. So I think this is a win-win for the town to do it this way.
Let me ask Bob one thing. Bob, is there anything left over in that road account? No. It's
Essentially gone.
Okay.
We did Chestnut Ridge, and then I think they're doing two side roads that are just absolutely cratered right up here off of Worcester. But that, you know, so that was about.
So basically, this fiscal year, we've consumed everything in that road account.
Right.
Okay.
It didn't last long, I'm afraid.
No.
It's just one more comment, is the only thing I'm afraid of that next year rolls around and the brakes get put back on the road program, and then we're right back to where we started for. So, you know, I was hoping that we can get a commitment from the voters for the total package, that they know it would be funded again next year and the following years, you know, so that was one of my concerns.
I think this will be all answered in May. It depends on the economy. You know?
Okay, we'll look at it.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve the revised sum of $2 million for phase one of the road renewal plan. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you very much.